the shocking truth behind Yaman and Demet Özdemir, a love that shattered friendships. Have you ever wondered what really goes on behind the glamorous lives of your favorite celebrities? How far are they willing to go for love, and at what cost? Welcome to Magazine News and Gossip, where today we take you behind the scenes of one of the most talked about relationships in recent years, the alleged romance between Yaman and Demet Özdemir. Their chemistry on the hit show Untold not only captivated millions, but also sparked countless rumors about their real-life relationship. But what if we told you that this love story wasn't just about romance? What if it came with a heavy price? One that cost Yaman his most important friendship. A love that set the screens on fire. From the moment Yaman and Demet Özdemir first shared the screen in Untold, fans across the globe couldn't stop talking about their undeniable chemistry. It wasn't just their on-screen characters, Demet and Yaman, that lit up the television. It was their off-screen connection that fueled endless speculation. Viewers dreamed of seeing them together in real life, hoping that the sizzling energy between them wasn't just scripted. But behind the glamour of their success and the smiles for the cameras, a darker story was unfolding. According to sources close to the actors, the intense relationship between Demet and Ken not only had an impact on their professional lives but also affected their personal circles, most notably the friendship that Ken had with his best friend, a friendship that many thought would last a lifetime. The friendship that was once unbreakable. Before the fame, before Untold, and before Demet Özdemir entered his life, Yaman had a close-knit group of friends, people who'd been by his side long before he became a household name. One of these friendships, in particular, stood out. Ken's best friend, whose identity has been kept private out of respect, had been a key figure in his life for many years. This was the kind of friendship that was built on trust, shared experiences, and an unspoken bond that only those who grow together from a young age can understand. They were there for each other through thick and thin, sharing not only successes but also personal failures, adventures, and the kinds of moments that create unbreakable bonds. However, everything started to change when Demet Özdemir entered Ken's life. What had once seemed like a friendship that could survive anything began to crumble. The first sign of trouble, a growing distance. It all began on the set of Untold, where insiders noted a shift in Ken's behavior. As his relationship with Demet deepened, he started to distance himself from those who had always been there for him. Most notably, his best friend was pushed to the sidelines. While Ken had previously spent his free time with his close-knit circle of friends, this dynamic changed dramatically as he began to focus solely on Demet. A member of the production team, who wished to remain anonymous, shared insights into this shift. Ken was always someone who valued his friends deeply, but when his relationship with Demet started to get serious, he just seemed to forget about them. He stopped seeing people who had been in his life for years. The growing isolation of Ken from his closest companions, especially his best friend, was evident to those around him. Demet's influence, protective or possessive. While many admired the intense chemistry between Ken and Demet on screen, those closer to the situation started noticing something more troubling behind the scenes. Demet Özdemir is known for her passionate personality, and while this intensity often translates beautifully into her roles, it reportedly extended into her real-life relationships as well. Those close to Ken and Demet's inner circle began to whisper that Demet wasn't entirely supportive of Ken's friendships outside of their relationship. Some even suggested that she was uncomfortable with the close bond Ken shared with his best friend. Although Demet never openly confronted Ken's friends, many people close to the couple suspected that her desire to spend all of her time with Ken was taking a toll on his other relationships. Demet wanted Ken's full attention, a source close to the couple shared. She didn't like it when his focus was elsewhere, even if it was on old friends. It was clear that their relationship was becoming the center of Ken's world, and it left little room for anyone else. The breaking point, the event that changed everything. As Ken grew more distant, his best friend tried to maintain the bond they had always shared. But with each passing month, the opportunities for them to connect became fewer and farther between. According to witnesses, it was clear that Demet's presence in Ken's life was creating a barrier between him and his old friends. Conversations became shorter, Messages went unanswered for longer periods, and eventually, the connection that had once been a constant part of Can's life began to fade. The final straw came during a significant event in Can's career, a celebration marking one of his major professional achievements. It was an intimate gathering with only the closest people in his life invited. But Can's best friend, the one who had been with him through thick and thin, was conspicuously absent. This exclusion shocked many, especially those who knew how important this friendship had been to Can. Rumors quickly spread that Demet had influenced the decision not to invite him. Whether or not this was true, the damage was done. Can's best friend felt deeply hurt and betrayed. It was a hard blow for him, said a source close to the friend. After everything they'd been through together, it felt like he'd been pushed out of Can's life entirely. The final blow, a heated argument, and the end of a friendship. The tension between Can and his best friend continued to simmer until it finally erupted. According to insiders, a heated argument broke out, centered around a misunderstanding involving a professional project both Can and his friend were involved in. Witnesses say that Demet became involved in the conversation, further escalating the situation. By the end of the argument, it was clear that the relationship between Can and his best friend was beyond repair. Feeling betrayed and heartbroken, Can's best friend decided to walk away from the friendship for good. He felt like Can had changed, shared someone close to the situation. It wasn't just about Demet, it was about the fact that Can didn't seem to fight for their friendship. He didn't seem to realize, or maybe he just didn't care, that he was losing one of the most important people in his life. Can's silence speaks volumes. To this day, Yaman has never spoken publicly about the end of his friendship. In interviews, when asked about his personal life, he skillfully deflects, choosing instead to focus on his career and upcoming projects. His silence on the matter has only fueled more speculation. Was he too blinded by his love for Demet to see the damage being done to his friendships, or did he consciously choose to prioritize his relationship over his long-standing connections? As for Demet Özdemir, she, too, has remained quiet about the situation. On her social media, she continues to project an image of success and happiness, showing no sign of the controversies swirling around her. The unbreakable mark left by their relationship. Though Can and Demet are no longer together, the impact of their relationship continues to ripple through their lives and the lives of those around them. For Can, the loss of a friendship that had once been a cornerstone of his life is a reminder of how love, no matter how intense, can sometimes come with unintended consequences. As for the future, only time will tell whether Can and his former friend will ever reconcile. But one thing is certain, the story of Yaman and Demet Özdemir is far more complicated than the fairy tale romance fans first believed. Stay tuned to magazine news and gossip as we continue to uncover the untold stories of your favorite stars.